What's good, peeps? Thanks always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. A few people have reached out to me asking if I've heard anything from my Sky Sports interview last week. When was it? Last week, Thursday? Not yet. No, I haven't heard anything yet. I didn't expect to hear anything this soon. They did tell me that they're going to be interviewing this week as well. So I'm thinking probably next week. I'm not confident. That's a lie. I'm 50-50. It was an okay interview. It turned into more of a discussion than an interview. I do want to tell you what the interview comprised of, but I know some people are doing their interview this week, and I think some people early next week as well. There were quite a few candidates, sorry. And you never know who's watching the channel, right? I don't want to give them a hint as to what they've got coming. But it was an interesting interview, about an hour long as well, talking about a lot of sport. So thank God I watch a lot of sport. But look, I was just happy to get the interview, if I'm honest with you. And not that I would be not upset if I don't get it, but I was happy to get the interview with what is the biggest channel over here, right? And know that's the level, in terms of what the interview comprised of, that's the level I need to be at all the time. So nothing yet, but you guys will obviously know as soon as I know. All right, let's talk Canelo. Obviously, big fight with Kovalev coming up this weekend. He's been doing the media rounds, obviously. And he was asked about the pound for pound status. And it's funny because boxers do care about this, right? Boxers must look at these rankings and care. Terence Crawford clearly cares. He's done a number of interviews talking about it. Loma cares. He's talked about it a lot. But Canelo, not really. We haven't really heard Canelo say anything about where he is and if he is happy about where he is in the pound for pound rankings. Canelo, I think Ring have him as number 3 behind Loma and Terence Crawford. In an interview he done, I don't know who asked him the questions, but he said he thinks he should be number 1, that he's done a lot more than Loma and Crawford. I don't know if he said a lot more, but he did say he's done more and achieved more than Loma and Crawford. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Canelo deserves to be pound for pound number 1? I will say this, based on just resume, and I see a lot of people do this, they kind of put Canelo's hit list, even the loss, right, to Floyd, they put that down, and just based on that, number 1 clearly, right? I mean, his resume is frightening. I know people will pick holes in it, as I do, and look at things like age and rehydration clauses and stuff like that, but regardless, in terms of who he's fought, and the level to which he's fought at for the last 5-6 years, I mean, only, who else is on that pound for pound list? Only Manny Pacquiao obviously has a better resume. It's a very, very good resume. I don't know if that's what, or all we're looking at when it comes to pound for pound rankings on pound for pound discussions. The problem with Canelo and why he isn't a number 1, again, I think he should be based on resume, is that there's just this asterisk when it comes to Canelo, isn't there? There is, whether it be the clenbuterol issue in the lead up to the second GGG fight. You know, my impression, if someone's cheated once, they've done it before. A couple of the decisions, right? The first Golovkin fight wasn't a draw. He lost that fight for me. I mean, even when you go back and watch the Lara fight again, you could argue that he lost that one. The majority decision lost to Floyd. Someone gave that a draw. So there's just this asterisk with him. Remove the asterisk, and I think he's right. I think he should be pound for pound number 1. I think his resume is solid. I think what he's doing in terms of jumping the weights is solid as well. I think it's a better resume than Terence Crawford, right? I think Terence Crawford is based or in there because he obviously is a freeweight world champion, unbeaten, right? Undisputed at 140. And his boxing ability, I think, is a bit better than Canelo. Loma's in there. Loma's a freeweight world champion as well now. A lot of hype around him. But I don't think they've beaten the guys that Canelo's beaten, right? I don't think there's anyone on Loma's resume that's better than Golovkin. Nope. And I think you could give him the second Golovkin fight. No one on their resume is better than Golovkin. Terence Crawford doesn't have anyone on his resume better than even a Danny Jacobs. And I'm a big Terence Crawford fan. He doesn't. So I guess it's, what are you looking for? I mean, are you looking for Resume, then Canelo should be number one. Are you looking for boxing ability? Then I guess Loma and Crawford are higher than him, right? I think they're both better boxers than him. But I mean, I can understand Canelo's frustration. It's an argument. The funny thing is, there's always an argument between Loma and Crawford. People always say, oh, it's Loma number 1 or 2, right? And Crawford number 1 or 2. I think really there should be an argument for 1, 2, and 3. I think you will have to chuck Canelo in there, especially if he beats Kovalev. If Canelo goes out there and smokes Kovalev, I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear anything because as far as I'm hearing, obviously it's 175. There were rumors about a rehydration clause. Again, that's an issue with Canelo as well, by the way. But there were rumors about a rehydration clause. I don't think there is one. So he's going to go there and smash Kovalev. Then he's got to be in the discussion. If not jump him straight from 3 to 1, he's got to be in the discussion 1, 2, 3. But for me, I'm happy with him being number 3 just because of this asterisk with him. The PD one's a big one. It's a big one, people, right? I mean, I know there are probably other potential PD users in this top 10, but the PD one's a big one. And that decision against Golovkin, both of them, again, asterisks. But apart from that, I fully understand his frustration. What do you guys think? Should Canelo be number 1 pound for pound? Or do you still have it between Loma and Crawford? And if you do have Crawford, because I understand the Loma argument, because I do think Loma's beat some decent opposition. Not amazing either, but some decent opposition, right? Why Crawford, out of interest? Like, look, I have Crawford. I'm not going to tell you my reasoning, but why Crawford? Because Crawford, again, is no worse than number 2. Is it because he's unbeaten? There are a lot of unbeaten fighters out there. Is it because he's a free-weight world champion? Although he hasn't beaten anyone, right? That's not his fault, by the way. I think he could beat the people easily. But unfortunately, he didn't have the fight at 135. I mean, Gamboa, but yeah, really. Didn't have the fight at 140, right? I mean, who did he fight at 140 for big name? Julius Indongo and Victor Postal. And at 147, he's not had the fights. He's not had the fight. He won the belt of Jeff Horn. Recently fought Amir Khan. And now he's fighting a guy that I can't pronounce his name. I can't remember the guy's name, who is the mandatory. So he's not had the fights really in any weight class. Why is Crawford so high? Tell me what you guys think anyway. Let me know. Peace.